Welcome back to English with Tom and Julia, a space where we slow down, reflect, and talk about how to live, learn, and grow with a little more peace every day.
If you're new here, this podcast is all about exploring the human side of learning and life. Because language, growth, and self-discovery all start from the same place, being honest with who you are.
Today's topic is one that touches all of us, whether you realize it or not. We're talking about the courage to be yourself and how sometimes being real can feel like the scariest thing in the world.
You know, Julia, it's funny how we grow up hearing the phrase, just be yourself. But when we actually try to do that, it doesn't always feel that simple, does it?
Not at all. I remember when I first started teaching English. I used to watch all these confident teachers online and try to copy the way they spoke, the way they moved, even the words they used.
Oh, I can imagine that. It's like you wanted to sound right.
Exactly. I thought if I acted more like them, people would take me more seriously. But after every class, I felt disconnected, like I was playing a role, not really showing up as me.
That's such an honest reflection. I think so many people can relate to that because we live in a world that rewards imitation. We're told to fit in, but deep down, what we're really craving is to belong. And those two things are very different.
Right. Fitting in means changing yourself so others accept you. Belonging means being yourself and finding people who accept you anyway.
And that takes courage.
Let's be honest. Being yourself sounds easy until you realize it might disappoint people.
Exactly. Maybe your friends expect you to be funny all the time, so you hide your serious side. Or maybe your family expects you to follow a certain path, so you silence your real dreams.
And the fear behind all that is simple. If they really saw who I am, what if they didn't like me?
That's the core of it, isn't it? We don't just fear rejection. We fear being known and then rejected.
It's like wearing a mask. At first, it protects you, but over time, it gets heavy. And one day, you realize you don't even know what your real face looks like anymore.
That's powerful. And I think at some point, everyone reaches a moment when pretending becomes too painful. When the cost of not being yourself becomes heavier than the fear of being real.
Yes, and that's the turning point. The moment you quietly say to yourself, I can't keep pretending. I want to feel real again.
You know what's interesting? Once you start being yourself, even in small ways, life feels lighter.
It really does. For me, it started with saying no more often. Not in a rude way, just in a way that protected my energy. Before, I said yes to everything because I wanted people to like me. Now, I say yes only when it feels honest.
And how did that change things?
At first, it felt scary, like I was letting people down. But slowly, I noticed something amazing. The people who truly cared about me stayed. And the ones who only liked the nice version of me, they drifted away.
That's such a key insight. When you stop pretending, you might lose a few people, but you gain peace, clarity, and real connection.
Exactly. It's like clearing the noise so you can finally hear your own voice again.
And once you start listening to that voice, you realize it's been guiding you all along. It just needed you to stop doubting it.
Yes, being yourself isn't about being loud or different or rebellious. It's about being honest, even when it's uncomfortable.
So maybe the question is, how do we actually live authentically, not just talk about it?
Good question. I think it starts small. For example, say what you really think, kindly. Wear what feels like you, not what's trending. Spend time with people who make you feel safe, not just popular.
Beautifully said. And I'd add, do one thing each day that feels like you. Maybe it's journaling, or walking alone without music, or creating something just because you love it.
Because those little choices, they remind you that you exist beyond expectations.
Exactly. You don't find yourself all at once. You meet yourself, moment by moment, through what you choose, what you love, and what you say no to.
That's such a peaceful way to look at it. It means you don't need to figure out who you are. You just need to be honest with who you already are. So if you're listening right now and you've been trying so hard to fit in, maybe today's the day you can take a deep breath and remind yourself, You don't have to perform. You just have to be.
And that's enough.
Because being yourself isn't a one-time decision. It's something you practice. In the quiet moments, in small choices, in how gently you treat yourself when you make mistakes.
Yes. Authenticity doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means showing up honestly, even when you're still figuring things out.
And maybe that's where true growth happens. Not in chasing perfection, but in embracing your humanness with a little more kindness each day.
You know, Julia, the more we talk about this, the more I realize that being yourself isn't just about what happens inside you. It's also about how you face the world around you.
That's so true. Because even when you start to feel more authentic, the world still has opinions, expectations, and noise.
Exactly. And that's where the real test begins. How to stay true to yourself in a world that constantly tries to shape you.
It's one thing to find your truth in silence, but it's another thing entirely to live it out loud in the world.
Yes. Because the moment you start being real, you notice how often the world tries to tell you who to be.
Exactly. It's like everywhere you look, there's a picture of who you should be, how you should dress, talk, work, and even feel.
And it can be exhausting. Because you're constantly measuring your life against everyone else's.
That's why authenticity isn't just a feeling. It's a quiet kind of strength. It's saying, I may not have everything figured out, but I won't lose myself trying to keep up.
Yes. Because real confidence doesn't come from comparison. It comes from peace. Maybe being yourself isn't something you achieve. Maybe it's something you practice. Every time you show up honestly, you're choosing courage over comfort.
Yes, and I think that's what courage really is. Not the absence of fear, but the choice to be real even when fear is still there.
Because deep down, no one else can live your story for you. No one else can speak your truth. That's your role, and the world needs your version of it.
So if you're listening right now, and you've been trying so hard to fit in, maybe today's the day you can take a small breath and remind yourself, you don't have to perform. You just have to be.
And that's enough.
You know, Tom, we've talked a lot about being yourself, but the truth is, the world doesn't always make it easy.
No, it really doesn't. Especially in the age of social media, where comparison feels like a reflex. You open your phone and suddenly you're flooded with everyone else's highlight reel.
Exactly. It's like a constant reminder that you're supposed to be more successful, more confident, more something. And that noise can make it hard to hear your own truth.
Yeah. But maybe that's where authenticity becomes a quiet form of strength. It's saying, I don't need to be louder. I just need to be real.
I love that. Because authenticity doesn't need an audience. It only needs alignment.
Exactly. It's not about proving who you are. It's about being at peace with who you are, even when nobody's clapping.
And maybe that's what true confidence really is. Not thinking you're better than anyone, but no longer feeling the need to compare.
That's beautiful, Julia. When you reach that place, you stop performing and start living.
And I think that's the kind of freedom everyone's secretly searching for. To wake up and not have to pretend.
To wake up and feel like your own skin fits.
You know, I used to think courage looked loud, like shouting your truth, making bold moves, standing in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's how movies make it look, right? But in real life, courage can be quiet. It's the whisper that says, this is who I am, even when you're afraid.
Exactly. Courage is sending the message, starting the project, saying no, or simply allowing yourself to rest without guilt.
Sometimes courage is just showing up as yourself.